Junior Horlicks, and Biz Farm biscuits.
Popular Assamese singer Zubeen Garg flown to Guwahati in an air ambulance. Garg stated to be in stable condition. Doctors constantly monitoring situation. Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma assures all possible assistance. Search and rescue operations at Tupul tragedy site to officially wind up today. Chief Minister N. Biren Singh holds high-level meet. Talks focus on averting future tragedies. Arunachal Police dismisses reports of bodies of Assam workers found floating in the river. IGP Shukhu Appa speaks exclusively to Northeast Live, says search operations underway to trace missing laborers from Assam. Massive protest in Imphal following blast outside RIMS director A. Santa Singh's residence. Agitators call for peace and strong action of the government. Mortal remains of Sikkim IRB Jawans shot dead in New Delhi reach home today. Chief Minister Prem Singh Tamang leads state in paying tribute. And Ranil Wickremesinghe is Sri Lanka's new president. Former six-time Prime Minister turned acting president secures 134 votes in 225-member House. Hello to all the viewers and welcome to the news at 5. I'm Aaron Lingdo. Let's take a look at the top story this evening. Assamese singer and actor Zubeen Garg is being brought to Guwahati in an air ambulance. Zubeen, who was admitted to the ICU at the Sanjeevani Hospital in Dibrugarh after he received an injury after falling in the bathroom at a resort, boarded the flight from the Mohanbari airport and is expected to land in Guwahati any time now. Well, it may be mentioned here that the singer was injured after he fell inside the bathroom at the Mohanbari resort in Dibrugarh. Now, as per inputs, Zubeen Garg had around 5 stitches. Now, these are visuals of Zubeen Garg moments before leaving the Mohanbari airport. Now, as per inputs, Zubeen may be admitted to the Ayu Sundara Hospital in Guwahati. All right, there you have it on your screens. These are visuals just before the popular singer took off from the Mohanbari airport. And like you heard it earlier from our correspondent, it will take around 50 minutes to 1 hour for Garg to reach Guwahati, and he will be under medical supervision for further treatment. Well, some good news there for his fans and followers. The singer will be under observation under the good hands of doctors and nurses. And the news came as Zubeen fell in the bathroom, throwing his fans in a little bit of disarray. But well, like I said, this is some good news as he is in stable condition, being flown all the way from Dibrugarh to Guwahati for further medical treatment. These are visuals coming to us exclusively just before they took off from Dibrugarh for Guwahati. So any minute now, the flight will be here in Guwahati. Well, meanwhile, the Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma also took stock of Zubeen's health condition and has assured all possible help.
আমি এটা বেয়া খবৰ পাইছিলো যে আমাৰ সকলোৰে মৰমৰ জুবিন গাৰ্গ হস্পিটালত ডিব্ৰুগড়ত হস্পিটালাইজ হৈছে অলপ আগতে ডিব্ৰুগড়ৰ উপায়ুক্তই মোক জনাইছে যে তেওঁ সম্পূৰ্ণভাৱে তেওঁৰ কোনো ভাইটেল কোনো প্যাৰামিটাৰত কোনো প্ৰবলেম নাই তেওঁ সম্পূৰ্ণভাৱে সুস্থ হৈ উঠিব আৰু ইয়াৰ পৰাই আমি জুবিন গাৰ্গৰ আশু আৰোগ্য কামনা কৰিছো ৰাজ্য চৰকাৰে ব্যৱস্থা লৈছে যাতে তৎকালীনভাৱে বিশেষ বিমানেৰে আমি তেওঁ গুৱাহাটীলৈ লৈ আহিব পাৰো শ্ৰদ্ধাৰ ৰাইজ পুনৰবাৰ আমি সকলোৱে একেলগে জুবিন গাৰ্গৰ আশু আৰোগ্য কামনা কৰিছো
সাধাৰণ কেবিনেটে ৰখাৰ ব্যৱস্থা কৰিব পাৰি তেওঁলোকে সেই ডিচিশ্যন লোৱাৰ পিছত আমি আপোনালোকক জনাম আমি এতিয়ালৈকে পোৱা খবৰ মতে তেওঁৰ অৱস্থা সুস্থিৰ ভয়ৰ কাৰণ নাই বুলি আমাক জনোৱা হৈছে কিন্তু এয়া বেলেগৰ শুনা কথা আপোনালোকে যেনেকৈ শুনিছে ময়ো শুনিছোঁ গতিকে আহিব দিয়ক মই হস্পিটেলৰ কৰ্তৃপক্ষৰ পৰা যেনেকৈ দায়িত্বশীল তেনেকৈ জুবিন আমাৰ সকলোৰে মৰমৰ মনোজ ডেকা হিচাপেও মই দায়িত্বশীল তেওঁৰ প্ৰতি আমাৰ আটাইৰে মৰমৰ গতিকে আমি যিমান পাৰি আমি সাজু যিমান পাৰি কৰিম প্ৰয়োজন সাপেক্ষে যদি কৰবা গুৱাহাটীৰ বাহিৰৰ বা ৰাজ্যৰ বাহিৰৰ চিকিৎসক আনিব লগা হয় আমি কালি ৰাতিপুৱাৰ ভিতৰতে তেনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ চিকিৎসকৰ ব্যৱস্থা কৰিম অলৰেডি আমি কৰি দিছোঁ সাধাৰণতে এনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ ৰোগী আহিলে যেতিয়া আৰু তেতিয়া জুবিন যেতিয়া হয় তেতিয়াহ'লে ই আৰু স্পেচিয়েল হয় জুবিনৰ যিসকল চিকিৎসকে ইতিমধ্যে আগতে ট্ৰিটমেণ্ট কৰিছিলে তেওঁলোক থাকিবই দলটোত তাৰ উপৰিও তেখেতে মূৰত আঘাত পোৱাৰ বাবে আমাৰ দলটোত স্নায়ু শল্য বিশেষজ্ঞ মানে নিউৰ' চাৰ্জন আৰু নিউৰলজিষ্ট স্নায়ু ৰোগ বিশেষজ্ঞক ইনক্লুড কৰা হৈছে তেওঁলোকে চাই ডিচিশ্যন ল'ব কি কৰিব লাগে আপোনালোকক সময়ে সময়ে জনাই থাকিম জুবিনৰ ক্ষেত্ৰত কিমানজনীয়া দল বুলি কোৱাটো অসুবিধা প্ৰয়োজন হ'লেতো গোটেই হস্পিটেলৰ ডক্টৰৰ প্ৰয়োজন হ'লে গোটেই গুৱাহাটীৰ ডক্টৰ লৈ আহিম তেওঁলোকে জুবিন আমাৰ সকলোৰে মৰমৰ সকলোৰে অসমৰ সম্পদ গতিকে ইয়াত কিমানজন চিকিৎসকৰ প্ৰশ্ন নাই যি চিকিৎসকে লাগিব আমি ব্যৱস্থা কৰিম এয়াৰপৰ্টত আমাৰ 5জনীয়া দল এটা আছে আৰু ইমাৰ্জেঞ্চি ইউনিট এটা আছে তাত অলৰেডি হস্পিটেলত জ্যেষ্ঠ ৰোগী বিশেষজ্ঞসকল আছে আৰু প্ৰয়োজন হ'লে আমি গুৱাহাটীৰ চৰকাৰী খণ্ডৰ ব্যক্তিগত খণ্ডৰ যি বিশেষজ্ঞ চিকিৎসক লোক আছে সকলোৰে সহায় ল'ম মই ইতিমধ্যে কণ্টেক্টত আছোঁ সকলোৰে আৰু সেয়া আয়ুচন্দ্ৰ হস্পিটেলৰ ফালৰ পৰা বুলিয়ে নহয় জুবিনক লৈ আমাৰ সকলোৰে দায়িত্ব আছে আমাৰ সকলোৰে মৰমৰ গতিকে আমি চাম জুবিনক
Well, the air ambulance carrying the famed singer is en route to Guwahati and he will be admitted at the Ayusundra Hospital. And fans are also wishing Zubin a speedy recovery.
চাইমেলি আহিলো এতিয়া তেখেতলোকে কোৱা মতে বৰ বেছি এটা চিন্তা কৰিবলগীয়া নহয় বুলি কৈছে তথাপি তেখেতৰ এজন ভালপোৱা ব্যক্তি সকলোৱে জানে সকলোৱে হ'ব তেখেতৰ বিষয়ে তেখেত আশু আৰোগ্য হোৱাৰ কামনা কৰিছে তেওঁ ফিজিকেলি হওক মেণ্টেলি তেখেতে অসুবিধাত থকাটো আমি কেতিয়াও নিবিচাৰোঁ মই অকণমান সময় চাবলৈ পালোঁ প্ৰায় 2-3 মিনিটৰ কাৰণে খুব আৰম্ভণি কথা পাতিব নাপালোঁ তেনেকুৱা একো দিয়া নাই কথা পাতিবলৈ চাই মেলি গুচি আহিলোঁ আৰম্ভণিতে তেখেতৰ আশু আৰোগ্য কামনা কৰিছোঁ খুব সোনকালে ভগৱানৰ ওচৰত তাকে প্ৰাৰ্থনা কৰিছোঁ প্ৰাৰ্থনা এইটোৱে কৈছে সোনকালে আৰোগ্য হৈ আহক
মই সেইটোৱে বিচাৰিছোঁ অতি সোনকালে সুস্থ হৈ উঠক আৰু আমি ভগৱানৰ ওচৰত প্ৰাৰ্থনা কৰিছোঁ যে অতি সোনকালে সুস্থ হৈ উঠক আমাৰ মাজত আকৌ ভালকৈ সুস্থ হয়
জুবিন দাক খবৰ পাইছোঁ জুবিন দা ভগৱানক প্ৰাৰ্থনা কৰিছোঁ যাতে জুবিন দা সোনকালে ভাল হওক
আমি আশ্চৰ্যজনিত হৈ গ'লোঁ তেওঁ আমাৰ দুৰ্গতে আহি হঠাতে বাথৰুমত পৰিলে বুলি আমি খবৰটো পালোঁ গতিকে আমি লৰালৰি কৰি তেওঁ খবৰ লৈ ডক্টৰৰ লগত খবৰ পাইছোঁ ইতিমধ্যে তেওঁ যথেষ্টখিনি আৰোগ্য হৈছে বুলি খবৰ পাইছোঁ এতিয়া মই তেখেতক ফিজিকেলি লগ কৰিম
Well, we will continue to bring you minute by minute update on that story, but for now, let's move on. It's been less than an hour left. The relentless search and rescue operations at the Tupul landslide site in Manipur's Noni district will wind up officially. Well, in view of this, a high-level meeting was convened at the Chief Minister's Secretariat under the chairmanship of N. Biren Singh. Now, during the deliberations, several key decisions were taken on the basis of demands put forward by the Makwam Village Authority. Now, in the meeting, the Railway Department has agreed to hold extensive discussion with the IIT Guwahati, Manipur University, and other concerned institutions to have a detailed investigation for working out how the hill slopes adjacent to the railway boundaries in the Jiribam-Imphal project can better be monitored so that early warning can be given for any future untoward event. Besides, the Railway Department, along with the government agencies, shall jointly survey and assess the extent of damages in Makwam and Pongring Long villages and work on the process of compensation. Now, apart from this, the identification for the memorial site shall be done jointly by the Railways, Noni District Administration, and Makwam Village Authority. However, the construction shall be initiated only after stabilization of the landslide region and the removal of debris.
We have tried whatever weekend at the maximum level. The full cooperation were provided from the army, NDRF, SDRF, mainly from the villagers. They're taking day and night, working tirelessly. But we could not found these 5 bodies right now. But 3 were expecting could be the villagers, but 1 could not be identified. So we sent for the DNA test. I'm really very, very shocked and very sad, and I already conveyed my deepest condolence to the bereaved families and the victims. So I am praying to God this such accidents will not be never happen again. And from the government side and the railway side is very cooperative, and we have decided to provide the grievances of the victims. And we're also very thanks to the army personnel. They are also the one who tirelessly working since that midnight till today. And without their help, it would not have been found so much dead body. Once again, I would like to thank those who involved and those people who pray from many religious places. Government has got many, donation for the relief. We appreciate to all of them. For the villagers, there are some customary rules, norms. So they will do it. They are out. But officially, from this evening, it will be closed.
Well, staying with news from Manipur, commoners joined hands with doctors, teaching staffs and nurses of RIMS Hospital in Manipur today and staged a massive protest in Imphal to condemn the recent bomb attack at the residence of RIMS director Professor A. Santa Singh. Well, locals took to the street at Europok in Imphal West outside the director's residence, while doctors, teaching staffs and nurses at RIMS Hospital also staged sit-in demonstration. Well, reportedly, the bomb attack took place late night on Monday at around 9:45 p.m.
ये धरना प्रदर्शन किस कारण किस लिए हो रहा है और आपकी मांग क्या रहेगी?
आज की यह धरना बहुत ज़रूरी है बेतना, क्योंकि हमारे रिम्स के डायरेक्टर हमारे भाई जैसा है डायरेक्टर शांता, उसके घर के सामने बम फेंका गया है। ऐसे हमला दोबारा नहीं करना चाहिए, क्योंकि कुछ भी हो उनके बीच उसका समाधान, उसका हल उन दोनों के बीच आपस में मिलजुल कर उसका समाधान ढूंढना चाहिए। उसके अतिरिक्त वो घर के 20 लोग उसके सामने बम फेंकने से कुछ भी हो सकते थे। इस घटना से घायल भी हो सकते थे, मर भी सकते थे, बच्चे बूढ़े सब आते जाते रहते हैं। मैं हमारे अपील है कि ऐसी घटना दोबारा नहीं होना चाहिए।
Now, meanwhile, our colleague Sharat Chandra also spoke to the family members of Professor A. Santa Singh. Let's listen in to that conversation.
You see, all these are the family members of the Professor A. Santa. Could you tell us that when this blast took place and when you came to know regarding this bomb attack?
Actually, I just had the dinner, and when I was taking race, a big sound I heard. Then it was a shaking. Also, it also shook our house. So I thought it was just like an earthquake or something. And then I was very surprised and shocked, and some sound coming out from healing from my kids and my wife, and so I rushed out. Well, I not rushed out up to the spot from the far. When I looked from this side inside, our security was just going here and there. Then when I come out, it may be around after 10 minutes or something. When I come out, reach up to here, it's since that all the water was fallen on that side, and I came to know that.
So from the at the time of the blast, this we can see this is the security forces presence here.
Yeah.
So when blast took place, security still present at home.
Yeah. But the thing is, at that moment we cannot. We have put some CCTV cameras here, but actually we cannot view the exact view. So somehow when we calculate according to CCTV. This security person they came for some needs for around maybe few seconds. At that time, suddenly the blast came out. Now, so they rush out. So I think at the time of blast, it was it's present. Yeah, present. Luckily, it fall on the pond water, so that's why they didn't hurt. Otherwise, we may be casualty. So and then just
So
next to there, there's
no
so much.
human casualty at all.
Yeah, yeah.
The fortunate part of this incident is that there's no human casualty. Unknown this perpetrators taking advantage of the darkness, because the bomb blast took place at around 9:45. Then they could have hurled this bomb inside the campus of the campus residence of this Professor A. Santa family resident. Taking advantage of this darkness, they have just thrown, they lobbed this IED or hand grenade just inside the campus of this residence, and they fled away from the scene. Otherwise, security was present before the blast also, at the time of the blast also, but they could not respond to this bomb attack due to the darkness, and the perpetrators just fled away from the scene after lobbing the blast. With video journalist Rosen, this is Sarachandra reporting for Notice Live from Impal.
Focus now to the big update from Arunachal. IGP Shukhu Appa has rubbished reports stating that the bodies of some of the workers among the 19 who went missing from Kurung Kume have been found floating in a river. While talking exclusively to Northeast Live, Appa said that massive search operations by the police, the SDRF, locals are still underway in search of the missing persons. However, there is no breakthrough just yet. The official also said that locals from Parsi Parlo Circle, which is 38 kilometers from Koloriang, saw some outsiders taking public transport from the area, thus indicating that some of the laborers may be back in Assam. Let's listen into that full conversation.
सबसे पहले तो मैं इस न्यूज़ को खंडन करता हूँ. I deny the news. That's absolutely false. कुरुंग में नदी में कोई डेड बॉडी फ्लोटिंग नहीं कर रहा है. और the story is 6 जून को around 20 laborers असम के various places से लाए गए थे हुरी में. That is for I think road construction and all. जो लाए थे that was एक रोहम अली नाम का एक आदमी है. He has taken the money and then आदमी को उधर dump करके on 19 he left the place without giving them any ration or money और कोई बहाना बना करके उधर से चले आए. अभी तक का जो हमारा इन्वेस्टिगेशन से इंक्वायरी से ये पता चला on 5th रात 11:30 को out of 20 laborers 19 of them अपना मर्जी से उधर से भाग गए. और रात में कहाँ गए, कहाँ मतलब किस तरफ को गए किसी को पता नहीं. और चूंकि ये नए लोग थे मतलब जब जैसे ही हम लोग को 12-13 तारीख को पता चला we started a massive manhunt. हम हंटर्स को लगाया, लोकल जो उधर का जो लोकल एरिया से जो वाकिफ है लोकल आदमी को लगाया. अपने पुलिस टीम गए हैं. अभी SDRF स्टेट डिजास्टर रिस्पांस फोर्स को भी हम रवाना कर दिया है. सो सर्च इज ऑन. अभी तक हमें कुछ खबर नहीं है. और एक इंफॉर्मेशन मैंने सोशल मीडिया में भी देखा है, एक डेड बॉडी मिला वगैरह वगैरह. So we have verified that also there was no dead body and the person who has started this news उसको भी हमने आज पुलिस स्टेशन कोलोरियंग में सम्मान करा. तो वो आते हैं हम उसको फिर पूछताछ करेंगे. and that news itself is also false. उसको कोई आधार नहीं, कोई तथ्य नहीं.
Well, the Kurung Kume administration has requested for the assistance of the NDRF and the Indian Air Force in an effort to locate and rescue the missing 19 workers. As viewers, in an exclusive conversation with Northeast Live correspondent Ripun Joy Das, Kurung Kume DC Nigi Bengia said that the administration has now decided to take the assistance of the NDRF and also roll in the IAF choppers to locate the missing persons. Further, the DC also informed that the main contractor, Bengia Bado, has also been detained by the local police and he is currently being interrogated. It may be mentioned here that the 19 workers from Assam are missing for the past 15 days from a remote road construction site in Arunachal Pradesh after their contractor did not pay them their dues for more than a month since they began working. Notably, the laborers were engaged by the BRO in road construction in Huri under Damin Circle. The workers, who were brought to the construction site at Huri village in Kurung Kumei by two subcontractors, namely Ruham Ali and Abdul Kudus, on June the 6th, left the camp on the night of July the 5th. Now, of the two subcontractors, 14 missing are from one, while 5 are missing from the other. Now, the mortal remains of the 3 IR battalion Jawans from Sikkim reached their home state this afternoon. The 3 Jawans were killed during a shooting at the Hyderpur plant in New Delhi by a fellow Jawan. While Chief Minister Prem Singh Tamang paid his tribute to the deceased IRB Jawans at the Rangpur police station. Well, besides Sikkim cabinet ministers, MLAs, DGP A. Sudhakar Rao and several other dignitaries were present in the ceremony. Well, meanwhile, we have reaction from Sikkim DGP A. Sudhakar Rao. Let's listen in.
इसमें सबसे पहले हम लोग बहुत दुख व्यक्त करते हैं ऐसा घटना के ऊपर। हम लोग सिक्किम पुलिस के सारा परिवार, पुलिस का परिवार हमारा अपना कोई एक आदमी खोया जैसा लग रहा है हम तीनों लोगों को। हमारे भाई लोग हैं। पुलिस की डिपार्टमेंट की तरफ से हम लोग पुलिस वेलफेयर फंड से 4-4 लाख कैश सबको दिया है एक्स ग्रेशिया की तरफ से। सीएम साहब की तरफ से 5 लाख का उन्होंने गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से एक्स ग्रेशिया दिया है। एंड फैमिली मेंबर्स जो एलिजिबल होंगे उनके लिए कंपेशनेट अपॉइंटमेंट के लिए हम लोग प्रोसेस करेंगे। हाँ, उनको फैमिली मेंबर कोई योग्यता है उन लोगों को और उन लोगों को पक्का हम लोग कंपेशनेट अपॉइंटमेंट करेंगे।
सर, जो आरोपी है उस पर क्या कार्रवाई हो रहा है और क्या होगा?
आरोपी के ऊपर दिल्ली पुलिस इन्वेस्टिगेशन कर रहे हैं। उनका जो भी वो निर्णय करेंगे उसके ऊपर हम लोग फॉलो करेंगे।
उनका वो तो सिक्किम गवर्नमेंट के अंधेर में वो सर्विस पे है, उनका सर्विस अभी टर्मिनेट हो चुका है क्या?
ना, अभी तक नहीं हुआ है क्योंकि अभी दिल्ली पुलिस से रिपोर्ट आना बाकी है। रिपोर्ट आने के बाद हम लोग उचित कार्रवाई करेंगे। एक कोर्ट ऑफ इंक्वायरी ऑलरेडी ऑर्डर कर दिया हम लोगों ने। डीआईजी आर्म पुलिस को इंक्वायरी करेंगे एंड बाकी जो भी फैक्ट्स है वो सब इन्वेस्टिगेट करेंगे उसको।
It may be mentioned here that Lance Nayak Prabin Rai had shot 3 of his colleagues, Lance Nayak Pinso Namgyal Bhutia, Constable Indra Lal Chetri, and Constable Dhan Hang Suba in New Delhi on July the 18th. Time now for a very short break. More news when we return.
जाएंगे हम वहां जहां की हर खबर छुप जाती है और दिखाएंगे वो जो रहता है आपकी नजरों से उझल। पहुंचेंगे हम पूर्वोत्तर के हर कोने में।
Political issues.
नॉर्थ ईस्ट की हर खबर से आपको कराएंगे रूबरू।
एक पूरा पहाड़ नीचे आके रास्ते में जो भी आया उसको दबा के चला गया।
नमस्कार, समाचार नॉर्थ ईस्ट में आपका स्वागत है। मैं हूं कविता। स्टूडियो में मैं हूं रविंद्र चौहान। मैं रश्मि प्रिया शेर। मैं नश्विता महन।
समाचार नॉर्थ ईस्ट हर शाम 6 बजे।
News to keep you ahead. Evening Prime, every day at 7 p.m.
जाएंगे हम वहां जहां की हर खबर छुप जाती है।
Welcome back, viewers. Before we move forward, let's take a look at your headlines one more time. Popular Assamese singer Zubeen Garg flown to Guwahati in air ambulance. Garg stated to be in stable condition. Doctors constantly monitoring situation. Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma assures all possible assistance. Search and rescue operations at Tupul tragedy site to officially wind up today. Chief Minister N. Biren Singh holds high-level meet. Talks focus on averting future tragedies. Arunachal Police dismisses reports of bodies of Assam workers found floating in river. IGP Shukho Appa speaks exclusively to Northeast Live, says search operations underway to trace missing laborers from Assam. Massive protest in Imphal following blast outside RIMS director A. Santa Singh's residence. Agitators call for peace and strong action of the government. Mortal remains of Sikkim IRB Jawans shot dead in New Delhi reach home state. Chief Minister Prem Singh Tamang leads state in paying tribute. And Ranil Wickremesinghe is Sri Lanka's new president. Former six-time Prime Minister turned acting president secures 134 votes in 225-member House. Well, Sikkim has recorded a massive spike in daily COVID-19 cases. A total of 198 new cases have been detected in the state in the past 24 hours, while one COVID-related death was also reported. Now, meanwhile, the active cases in the Himalayan states have now risen to 816. And with the sudden rise of COVID cases in Sikkim, the state government has issued new SOPs in order to curb the spread of the virus. In the new circular, all heads of educational institutions, tutorials, coaching institutes, and hotels are instructed to monitor the health status of their students regularly. Well, the SOPs also directs the chief education officers to take a call on suspension of classes if a sudden rise in COVID cases is observed in any particular school. The SOP further directs all institutions to observe all COVID-19 protocols and the standard operating procedures and guidelines issued by the Ministry of Health and Education. And joining me on the broadcast this evening is my colleague Prakash Adhikari. Prakash, what is the positivity rate in Gangtok in the past 24 hours? And is the government mulling any fresh restrictions for the state capital?
Yes, around massive COVID-19 cases rising in Sikkim, and today in last 24 hours, 198 new cases detected in the state, and one COVID-related death also, and now active cases is 816, and positivity rate in the capital town in Gangtok is 22%. And today, Education Department issued a circular, and they said that all heads of education institutions, tutorials, coaching institutions, and hostels are hereby instructed to monitor the health status of their students regularly. If any of the students develops symptoms of cough, cold, and fever for more than 2 days, they may be advised to stay at home. And other in the notification, and they also mentioned that if a sudden rise in cases is observed in any particular school, chief education officer in district may decide to suspend affected classes for up to 2 days and take steps for the proper sanitization.
Right, and in your perspective, Prakash, how receptive are people to these new SOPs in the backdrop of the fact that we've all dropped our guards post probably 2021 after COVID has somehow subsided?
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me, Prakash?
Hello.
All right. We seem to have like a technical glitch there. Prakash Adhikari, thank you so much for your information. All right, well, Sikkim has recorded a massive spike in daily COVID-19 cases, with a total of 198 new cases that have been detected in the state in the past 24 hours, while one COVID-related death was also reported. Well, the active cases in the Himalayan state now have risen to 816. And we have a breaking news just in. Tripura Chief Minister Manik Saha has tested positive for COVID-19. Chief Minister Saha confirmed the development on Twitter. Saha stated that he is absolutely fine with no symptoms and requested those who have come in contact with him to get themselves tested. Well, this is the big breaking at the moment. Tripura Chief Minister Manik Saha has tested positive for COVID-19. Well, the Chief Minister confirmed this development on Twitter. Saha stated that he is absolutely fine with no symptoms and requested those who have come in contact with him to get tested. All right, moving on now. Assam Water Resource Minister Piyush Hazarika has instructed Kachhar DC to take stern action against those involved in damaging the Betu Kandi dike that led to flooding in the entire Silchar town. Now, the minister also took stock of the progress of the ongoing works to reconstruct the dike. Now, besides, Piyush Hazarika also issued clear instruction to complete the construction work by August the 6th. Well, it may be mentioned here that Hazarika is on a 3-day visit to the Barak Valley to review the steps taken to mitigate the situation arising out of the devastating floods. While talking to our Silchar correspondent Vikram Sarkar, the Assam Water Resource Minister assured that those found guilty in damaging the Betu Kandi dike will not be spared at any cost. All right, viewers. Well, the Assam Water Resource Minister Piyush Hazarika has instructed the Kachhar DC to take stern action against those involved in damaging the Betu Kandi dike that led to flooding in the entire Silchar town. Now, the minister also took stock of the progress of the ongoing works to reconstruct the dike. Besides, Hazarika also issued clear instructions to complete the construction work by August the 6th. It may be mentioned here that Piyush Hazarika is on a 3-day visit to the Barak Valley to review the steps taken to mitigate the situation arising out of the devastating floods. While talking to our Silchar correspondent, Vikram Sarkar, the Assam Water Resource Minister assured that those found guilty in damaging the Betu Kandi dike will not be spared at any cost.
Piyush Hazarika is in his 3-day visit in Barak Valley. So, sir, we have seen you have started your visit from today. You will be there till Friday. You started with the Katigora constituency and you came here in this dike. What you found?
I want to visit each and every bridge area of Barak Valley and bridge area and bridge-like situation area. In Katigora, I have visited in sluice gate areas in Bharat-Bangladesh border. That sluice gates built by BOI, I think. But that has to be taken over by Water Resource Department or PWD Department, Government of Assam. We have to repair that. We'll do that, and accordingly, we'll do the process to take over all that sluice gates to the Government of Assam. Now I have visited this Betukandi bridge area. It is filling up temporarily. I will go other bridges areas also. We have already filled up almost all bridge areas. I think this is the first time in the history of Assam during the flood season. means immediately after bridge, we have filled up almost all bridge areas of the state. It is a direction from the Honorable Chief Minister. So I am doing it. We are doing it.
Sir, do you think like the sluice gate is also required in this part?
Yes, definitely. Sluice gate is required within 5 kilometers. Between 4 5 kilometers, we need sluice gates. So for that, we are studying. We have formed 3 4 groups of engineers to study all these things. In existing, even in existing embankment, we are going to build sluice gates so that water can be passed and water can be logged, so that pressure can pressure in the embankment could be diminished.
Sir, during this flood, the most highlighted part was the Bethukande, but there are much more than that, which is in a critical condition.
I am going to see in Katigora. I have seen one another place. I have visited in one other place. There is a bridge-like situation. There is not bridge. I've been to that area, so I will go in that kind of areas also.
Last question to you. What about the action? Because CM has already mentioned about to take the strongest action against those who have destroyed the government property.
Stern strict action will be taken. Those who have attract government properties, those who have lost government properties. We don't compromise. We won't compromise with that culprit.
And shifting focus now to Manipur, where the All Tribal Students Union Manipur, or the ATSUM, which is the apex tribal student body of the state, has urged the chairman of the Hill Areas Committee, Manipur, and its members to communicate with the state government for tabling the HAC recommended Manipur Hill Areas Autonomous District Council Bill 2021 during the Second State Legislative Assembly. In a representation submitted to the HAC chairman, ATSUM has apprised the wish and desire of the tribal populace to witness the tabling of the ADC Bill 2021 during the ensuing second session of the 12th Manipur Legislative Assembly and passing of the same into an act. Well, earlier last year, an agreement was signed by the Manipur government with the ATSUM, ANSAM and the KSOGHQ agreeing to table the bill in the Winter Assembly session of 2021. However, the bill remains to be tabled in the Assembly. Well, ASUM also informed that since its enactment, the Manipur Hill Areas Autonomous District Councils Act 1971 has gone through several amendments, yet the basic principle of developing the hill areas could not be achieved, but has rather resulted in disproportionate developments between the hills and valley of Manipur. Now, as the principal act, including all amendments, have served no purpose, being toothless in nature with no financial, executive and legislative autonomy, ATSUM added. Well, shifting focus to Tripura now, the Tripura Chief Minister, Dr. Manik Saha, inaugurated the 1,050 LPM oxygen production plant at the IGM hospital in Agartala in the presence of Dr. Dilip Das, the MLA and Chairman Rogi Kalyan Samiti of the IGM hospital, Deepak Majumdar, the Mayor of the AMC, and other senior officials of the Health Department. Now, this is one of the 3 oxygen production plants funded by the government of Japan through the UNDP in Tripura and will largely benefit the critical patients, including those with COVID-19 infected. Now, addressing the media, Chief Minister Dr. Manik Saha said that the plant is an extra mileage for the benefit of the people and that the state is prepared to deal with the pandemic.
Will benefit the patients suffering from COVID-19 particularly. Otherwise, the oxygen is needed for all patients, sometimes who needs oxygen. We are prepared to cope up this COVID-19 pandemic. So on that aspect, we are very happy that in northeastern region, it is the biggest oxygen plant. So today we have inaugurated it. So for that, we have an extra mileage, I think I should say, for the benefit of the people.
And meanwhile, Dr. Dilip Das, the MLA and Chairman Rogi Kalyan Samiti of the IGM Hospital, said that the oxygen production plant is the highest oxygen producing plant in the state and the entire Northeast, and that it will benefit COVID patients alongside other patients.
This was a project from UNDP, and the funding was from the government in Japan. And the civil construction was done by NHM, and that cost about 35 lakhs. So it is waiting for this inauguration. Now it has a capacity of 1050 liter per minute, and this is the highest oxygen producing plant in the state and also in the northeast. So now we are using this for the other, because we have so many departments including IUC, general ward, OT, everything. We are utilizing it for the day-to-day basis. So it is a great help for us, because oxygen, not only that it is necessary for COVID patient, for every patient, for every emergency, for the cardiac patients or the respiratory tract infection or the anything respiratory failure, for many moribund patient oxygen necessary. So we are utilizing this oxygen in our old building in the different departments wherever is necessary.
Well, notably, the oxygen plant has been installed at a cost of rupees 2.61 crore. Another 1 crore funded through the NHM was required for laying pipeline system, and rupees 32 lakhs shared by the Government of India and Tripura for the required infrastructure. And on to a national update. Disruptions in Parliament continue for the third day of the monsoon session, with both houses witnessing adjournments following uproar by the opposition member on price rise, hike in GST on food items, and the Agnipath scheme. Well, as the proceedings for the third day of the monsoon session began in the Lok Sabha, opposition members carried posters of Gabbar Singh strikes again into the well of the House to protest against the GST rates. Well, amid continued chaos in both the houses, the Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha were adjourned till 2 p.m. Well, Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla stated that the Parliament is not a place for sloganeering and protesting. Well, renowned Assamese singer and actor Zubeen Garg is being brought to Guwahati in an ambulance. Well, Zubeen, who was admitted to the ICU at the Sanjeevani Hospital in Dibrugarh after he received an injury after falling in the bathroom. Well, these are live visuals coming to us here in Guwahati. So that means the famed singer has landed in Guwahati, where he will be admitted at the Ayu Sundra Hospital. These are live visuals that we're bringing to you right here on Northeast Live. There's the ambulance heading, of course, towards the hospital, where the singer will be treated for further. All right, these are live visuals coming to us from Guwahati. The air ambulance that carried the famed singer has landed in Guwahati. All right, well, you heard it. The air ambulance carrying the famed singer has arrived in Guwahati from the Mohan Bari Airport in Dibrugarh. Well, Zubeen Garg will be admitted at the Ayu Sundra Hospital, where he would be under strict medical care of the nurses and the doctors. Well, he will be in good hands for sure, and some good news and respite for all his fans and followers. All formalities have been completed from Dibrugarh, and now he has landed in Guwahati, and he will be heading straight to the Ayu Sundra Hospital for further treatment. Well, let me remind our viewers as well that the Assam Chief Minister, Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma himself, has assured all kinds of assistance to the famed singer. And also, some good news for the fans and followers, he is in a stable condition right now. Again, we will bring you all the details from that story, but for now, let's move forward. Rail communication between Lumding and Silchar is likely to resume by July the 23rd. Well, this indeed will be a key development considering the fact that the rail link is crucial for commuters from Tripura, Mizoram, Manipur, as well as the entire Barak Valley. Well, it may be mentioned here that the rail link was adversely affected owing to landslides. However, the railway authorities took the matter seriously and hopefully will restore the rail link by July the 23rd. Our colleague Swadeep Hassamsa was on ground zero to give us a detailed report.
पिछले मई महीने का 14 तारीख से डिमा हासाओं में भूस्खलन के कारण बहुत सारा जगह में रोड कम्युनिकेशन के साथ साथ रेलवे कनेक्टिविटी भी पूरी तरह से बंद हो गया था और फिर से रिस्टोर होते होते लगभग 2 हफ्ते पहले यहाँ का न्यू हाफलोंग से लेकर सिलचर तक ट्रेन जो है चला दिया गया है। लेकिन कल यानी कि कल 21 तारीख के बाद 22 तारीख से न्यू हाफलोंग नहीं गुवाहाटी तक सिलचर गुवाहाटी का ट्रेन का भी चलने का बात है और इस ये ट्रेन चलने से डिमा हासाओ का ही नहीं नेबरिंग स्टेट मिजोरम त्रिपुरा और मणिपुर गुवाहाटी के साथ जो कनेक्टिविटी करते हैं वो उन लोगों के लिए बहुत ही ज़्यादा सुविधा हो सकता है। तो थोड़ी देर पहले हमने देखा कि यहाँ पर सिलचर से आने वाला न्यू हाफलोंग यानी कि माहौर तक जाने वाला ट्रेन यहाँ पर आया था। बहुत सारे लोग यहाँ पे आया है। ये ट्रेन खुल जाने से क्या क्या फायदा हो सकता है?
ये ट्रेन खुल जाने से एक्चुअली बहुत पब्लिक का सुविधा होगा क्योंकि ना अभी जो हम लोग बस से जाते हैं वो दिक्कत। अभी मैं सुबह में गया था ऑफिस का गाड़ी से, रास्ता खराब है, गाड़ी खराब हो गया। मैं डिटक्सोरा से ये सिलचर का जो ट्रेन आप लोग माहौर तक गया है इसमें हम आया, ओनली 30 रुपीज भाड़ा है। तो ये ट्रेन होने से रेलवे को हम बहुत थैंक यू देने मांगूंगा क्योंकि बहुत जल्दी ये रेल लाइन वो लोग बना के रिपेयर कर लिया है। तो वो काल परसों से जो आपका गुवाहाटी से सिलचर तक चलेगा वो पब्लिक का बहुत सुविधा होगा क्योंकि गुवाहाटी से बहुत कमती भाड़ा से सेफ्टी से हम लोग हाफलोंग आने सकता है।
जी बिल्कुल, वही बात बोलना पड़ेगा। ये रेलवे थ्रो ने काफी जल्दी ही इसको रिस्टोर कर दिया गया है। और एक बार बता देता हूँ कि डिमा हासाओं में मोर देन 60 लोकेशन में यहाँ पर जो रेलवे का जो लाइन जो है खराब हो गया था उसकी वजह से, और उनमें से मेजर 11 लोकेशन में था और वो उन सारी जो लोकेशन को अगर हम बात करें तो थोड़ी जो मेजर था वो सब रिस्टोर हो गया था। लेकिन डाउटू हाजा फाइडिंगा बीच में जो माइबांग और बिटवीन फाइडिंगा बीच में जो एक बहुत बड़ा डिस्टर्ब हो गया था, बहुत बड़ा जो सिंकिंग हो गया था, उसकी वजह से काफी दिन लग गया था। और इसी के साथ कैमरा पर्सन हेमोवेंद्र के साथ मैं स्वदेव हसन, नॉर्थ ईस्ट लाइव, हाफलोंग।
A 22-member media delegation from Bangladesh who are in Guwahati following an invite from the Ministry of External Affairs visited Northeast Live and News Live offices today for an interactive session. Now, during the interactive session, Northeast Live Chief Editor-in-Chief made a presentation on India-Bangladesh relations and people-to-people contact and trade and commerce between the two nations. Now, the need for more media exchange programs was also stressed upon during the interaction. The Bangladesh media delegation was led by Ashish Ghosh Saikot, the chief news editor of Independent. The journalist from Bangladesh also stressed on the need for more people-to-people contact.
And when we say Northeast, that means we talk about 8 states with a total population of 45 million people. So our flagship channel is an Assamese news channel. It's called News Live. That was set up 15 years ago. And the channel which I head is Northeast Live. These are all satellite channels. Fortunate that you could not visit our channel because you were running late. And I am sure you are having a pleasant stay to our neighbors, particularly. Bangladesh is very important for us because we share a long border, as you all know. And therefore, we are very happy that you introduce yourself so that we know your organizations. That will be very nice. Okay, sir. Please.
news editor at Independent Television. It is a news channel. In Dhaka, there are 8 news channels.
I am a serial reporter and working for a news television that is head of the TV. I am Vimshik. I work from Bangalore newspaper. I am a business editor.
Assam is very close neighbors to us. Assam and Bangladesh is a very good relationship, man-to-man relationship, and we are coming to Assam, Guwahati, not Calcutta. So you understood the relationship is day by day it is increasing. And
well, since this is an interaction between media houses, so in the presentation also of the editor-in-chief of North like I said, that media interaction is necessary. So can there be avenues on this?
yes, it is a good proposal. I think we can start in our part, and if the editor-in-chief said that it will be a very good proposal, and we can carry, and not for 1 or 2 times, it will carry for a long time. That is helpful for our media also.
Well, we are very happy that a media delegation from Bangladesh has visited Assam, and we are happy to host them here today, the News Live and Notice Live group. And we had a very interesting discussion how to improve India-Bangladesh relations. And when we talk about India-Bangladesh relations, it is primarily Northeast India-Bangladesh relations, and media can play a big role in improving relations between the two countries, whether it is trade relations, whether it is people-to-people contact, improving people-to-people contact. So we had a frank discussion, and I think we discussed about how media can play a role. It's just about that.
Since you have noted the idea of media interaction, media exchange programs, so how feasible is it?
I think it is very, very doable. Some journalists from Bangladesh can come and work in the media organizations here, familiarization. And similarly, journalists from here can go and work in Dhaka or other places just to get more familiar. That can improve. And this can be actually made a part of the Act's policy, media exchange. And it can play a very big role in changing perceptions and improving people-to-people contact between the two neighbors. And when we say Northeast, that means we talk about 8 states with a total population of 45 million people. So our flagship channel is an Assamese news channel.
And moving on now to the big national story. New satellite images have indicated that a Chinese village constructed 9 kilometers east of the Doklam Plateau, where Indian and Chinese forces faced off in 2017, is now fully inhabited with cars parked at the doorstep of virtually every home. Well, significantly, the village, which Beijing calls Pangda, lies squarely within the Bhutanese territory. Now, alongside Pangda is a neatly marked all-weather carriageway, part of China's extensive land grab in Bhutan. Well, this cuts 10 kilometers into Bhutanese territory along the banks of the fast-flowing Amo Shu River. Now, for India, construction along the Amo Shu means that the Chinese forces could end up getting access to a strategic ridge in the adjacent Doklam Plateau. Now, this would give them a direct line of sight to India's sensitive Siliguri corridor, the narrow sliver of land that connects the northeastern states with the rest of the country. Now, all of these settlements put pressure on the Indian defenses in Sikkim. Now, in 2017, the Indian soldiers had physically prevented Chinese workers from getting to this ridge in Doklam called the Jhamperi. Now, there is now a concern that China is trying to bypass Indian defenses to the west by approaching the same ridge through this alternate axis. Now, the new satellite images sourced from Maxar indicate that a second village in the Amo Shu River Valley is now virtually complete, while China has stepped up construction of a third village or habitation further south. Now, a bridge across the Amo Shu has been constructed at the site of this third village, which excavation activity clearly visible. Now, the foundation of 6 buildings here are visible. Now, the developments on the Bhutan front comes at a time when India continues to try to persuade China to withdraw from the position it has occupied in Ladakh since May 2020. Well, there have been 16 rounds of talks so far, with no substantial headway reported in the last round held on Sunday. And with that story, we conclude the news at 5. I'm Aaron Lingdo. News and updates continues.
जाएंगे हम वहां जहां की हर